Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing fine. If you're new to this channel, welcome, and you can go through my content to get conversant with my content, and I just get to know me and just enjoy my content. But for this week, we're going to be discussing a topic that I feel we need to speak more about it. If you know more, you teach. If you know better, you teach those who you feel can learn one or two from you. Just endeavor, make it a point that whatever you do, just make sure that if you know better, always make it a point to always want to teach others better. This topic I'll be talking about is building the life you want, finding your passion. I feel this is something that it's not widely spoken about. It's like a lot of young people don't really have some sort of manual or guide to go through life, finding themselves, finding their purpose, and just their reason for being alive, or the reason for their existence. And I want to let you know this fact that if you don't protect yourself, if you don't go about life the right way, if you give life the right to cheat you, life will cheat you so badly that sometimes you might not even be present to see your mistakes or to grow or to learn from it. So please endeavor to always want to make or get the best out of yourself. Endeavor to always be in the search for growth, to always be in the search of personal development. It is really, really necessary and required. And if a lot of us were able to find our passions at an early age, or be able to navigate life in some aspects, especially when it comes to our gifts, our talents, our dreams, our passions, all of this, I just feel and wish more people or more adults or people who have some sort of knowledge to be able to come out and share with the younger generations how to go about things. Because sometimes I would always say most people, it's not their fault. They don't just know any better. You can't really criticize someone if you haven't been able to show that person the correct thing and do it in love. You don't have the right to criticize that person, because some people, it's just how they came to see life, just how they came to know themselves. So please, that is why I say endeavor to want to know more. And finding yourself doesn't end there. Finding your passion, building the life you want, it doesn't end there. We do all of this for the sake of continuity, for the sake of helping ourselves and helping others. Because for you to help another person, you need to be able to know that thing, to be able to have a better understanding, to be able to teach someone. So please endeavor, make it a point to always want the best for yourself. And I am of the strong belief that there is no human being on this planet that doesn't have a portion of this earth allocated to them. For you to be able to build the life you want, first it starts with your mind. After your mind, then how you see life. Those two things play a very crucial role in building the life you want and finding your passion or your dream, your talent. And it is very, very important. Your mindset and how you see this life. The same way that Beyonce can go on to do so many great things on planet Earth is the same way you and I have that ability. We have that grace, we have the stamina to be able to do something great out of life, depending on what our calling is or what our talent is. We all have the ability. Every human being has the ability. Every human being has that grace, that stamina, that drive. The difference is our mindset and how we see this world. That is where the difference comes into place. Because if you have the mindset that there's a part of this earth that belongs to me, that is mine, it's rightfully in, based on any merit, it belongs to me. And they're telling you that if you go hard, if you work hard for it, you're consistent, you're disciplined, if you're able to grow, learn, to know the truth, to know your wrongs from your rights, to be able to develop yourself, to get yourself to a place that you know who you are as a person, You know what you want out of life, and you decide to go for it, and go for it in the right way, not just going for it. You have to always strive to do things in the right way to be able to live a more peaceful and enjoyable life. And now, back to the topic, building the life you want. Like I said, it starts with your mindset and how you see life. Everything in this life, it starts from here. Your mindset is your heart and your brain, your mind, how you see life, your mindset. It is very important, regardless of where you're coming from. The first thing you need to do as a person when you come of age and understand, or have some sort of understanding that there's a purpose for why you are alive. The first things first is knowing yourself, being able to understand yourself, because everything plays a role. Life, in my opinion, is you getting a message from here, a lesson from here, a lesson from there, and mixing all of them together to create a better or a big picture. It's not something that you just get the update today and you start running with it. They come in parts, they never come fully. That is why sometimes you have an understanding of something, but someone can maybe explain it in a different way, and then you have a deeper insight on that thing. It doesn't mean that you never know this, it just gives you a broader knowledge of what that thing is. So please strive to always want to know yourself. Are you someone who is quick to anger? Because if you want to know yourself, you will be able to see the things you don't like about yourself, the things you think or you feel you need to stop, the things you should stop or discontinue. You'll be able to, wither so many bad parts about you. You'll be able to get that discernment, being self-aware. And being self-aware is such a magical power that we are yet to grasp. Being able to have that self-awareness, it saves you from so many things. Having a great sense of self-awareness gives you a deeper understanding of how to carry yourself, the things you should say, the crowd you mingle with, the kind of people you interact with, the kind of individuals you do business with. It all plays a role little by little. You can't focus on just one part, making sure that you're consistent and live discipline. You can't focus on that part, because in as much as you're building, life is just made in a way that all of these things will be tested. And once that time for testing comes, it's either you step up to the challenge or you fail. And when you fail from something like that, it is so difficult, extremely difficult and painful to restart all over. Yes, it's possible for you to do it countless times, but how about you just try and do things the right way? Because if you do it the right way, then you have to do it just once. You don't have to go back to rock bottom to start all over again. And you all know how starting anything can be so difficult. And if you're not aware, I am here to tell you that it is very difficult. It takes everything from you. That is why you need to make sure that you know yourself, you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you know how to use each of that to your advantage, and how to make use of it that is not detrimental to you in the long run. So it is very, very important that you get to know yourself. After knowing yourself, then one thing that I normally hear people say is, how do you even know your vision? How do you know what you're passionate about? How do you? The only thing I will say, or from my own understanding, is your passion is that thing that keeps you moving every day. It's that thing that when you wake up, that's what gives you drive. That is what is keeping you alive, basically. That thing that you think about every minute of the day. You can't stop thinking about it. You wake up thinking about it, you go to bed thinking about it. You can't help not thinking about it. Even when you try not to think about it, you can't. And it's almost like you're going crazy, because you're tired of thinking about this thing, and you tend to see a certain picture. Everyone has the ability. You get to see a certain picture of your life. You see yourself in these places. Just as they say, if you don't see it, you won't be it. After finding it, it doesn't just end there. And this is also one of the most difficult steps in building the life you want, being able to find your passion. As easy as it sounds, boys, girls listening to me, it is not as easy as it sounds, because there are also things that we are good at that we love doing, but it doesn't necessarily mean that is our passion or that is our calling, you know. That is why spirit of discernment also has to come for you to be able to know that is this just something that I love doing, I enjoy doing, or this is actually my passion, this is actually my calling, you know. So this is why I'm saying all of this matters, and that is why I always say things like process, because it is in process that if you know that you're someone who is quick to anger, you know, life is so humorous that in years to come there are times that the only situations you encounter will all only come to trigger that anger out of you, and we all know that anger doesn't result to anything positive. So if you don't work on it at that point, is it when you are at that point or at the top you want to work on it? Life doesn't work that way. You don't just wake up one morning and you be like, oh, I have a gut feeling and I trust the gut feeling. No, you have to actively work towards that gut feeling, because in as much as we all say yes, we have a strong gut feeling, at the same time there are sometimes that we feel so deeply, so strongly about something and it doesn't end up being how we thought it to be. I don't know if that makes any sense. So yeah, please just try to understand yourself, know yourself before you even think of finding your passion, because then it will give you a sense of identity to be able to be that to be able to be that person that regardless of your talents, regardless of whatever it is you venture into, you do that thing in your own personality as your own person. It is very, very important that I would say always look up to people that are doing what you aspire to do. It is very, very important. Look up to people that have the same mindset as you, that share the same values as you. It is very, very important, and just look to them for inspirations. But when you're looking for inspirations, always remember that that inspiration that you were getting, you're supposed to go and execute it in your own way as your own person. You know, you're not just going to copy and paste. No, whatever you're trying to copy or get inspired from by someone, you always have to remember that that thing, let's say for example my 100 layers of nail challenge or fashion egg video, those are some of the videos that I got an inspiration from somewhere. But it is something that sometimes I'll tell myself, okay, I will not watch a video about that just to see what I can come up with. Then if maybe the video doesn't turn out to how I want it, then I can decide to go watch the video and see what I can incorporate and how I can make this video better. So please, it is very important that in as much as we draw inspirations from people, we should always remember to make that inspiration or that idea in our own way, as our own person, how we think in our own way, refine it to your own taste, not saying that I'm wearing this ring and then you carry it and wear it on the same exact fingers. Sometimes just try. Have the mindset that what if I take it from this finger and put it in this finger? How is it going to look? Does it look better? Does it look less better? You know, so please just make it a point that in as much as you're drawing inspirations, never forget that regardless of what the idea is, it has to be done in a way that it speaks to you, you know, it screams you that once someone watches that content, in as much as it's a viral content, they can still say that okay, yes, this video is still you regardless. Another point I would want to make is the bigger picture, that vision, that picture that I say you see. If you don't get what I'm saying, is it's like that's the way you see yourself. Let's say for example you always see yourself on that big stage, you know, teaching multitudes of people, or that big stage singing, you know, whatever it is, that picture that you see, you always have to keep your eyes on the bigger picture, regardless of what you do, even the water you drink, down to how you take your bath. You should always have the bigger picture on your mind. That will help you not to stay off course. That will help keep you in check, keep you in line to your vision, to your own path. And you also have to remember that your journey and my journey are not the same. We can be doing the same exact thing to the T. We can be doing everything exactly, but your journey and my journey are not the same at all. There are so many things that comes as a factor that makes the difference between you and I, or whoever it is. Also, remember that there is something bigger than you. This could give room for spirituality, religion, and also try not to be a religious person. It's also when you come to the point that you are following religion blindly, it still produces nothing. Because if you don't have the right knowledge or proper understanding of anything, you cannot just understand that thing. You need to have the right knowledge to look to understand anything. It works in life like that. To be able to understand anything, you need to have a full knowledge of what you're talking about or what that thing is. I'm someone who says even rock bottom has another rock bottom, rock bottom has a basement, an underground basement. Yes, rock bottom has an underground basement. Who do you turn to in times like that? Because guys, in as much as we try to give ourselves different reasons as to how the earth came about and the rest, I believe that when you come in contact with the truth, there will be no confusion whatsoever. If you come in contact with the truth, you know the truth. There will be no confusion. You know what you know. So please just strive to always remember that there is something bigger than you, because in as much as you feel you're working hard for it and it's coming for you, don't be so quick to think the other person that is not happening for, it means the person is lazy or the person is not trying their best. Guys, in as much as you feel you're so hardworking, in as much as you feel you're the most diligent, disciplined, most consistent person, there is someone else out there that when they show up, whatever it is you're doing will now be meaningless, compared to what that person is doing. So please always have it at the back of your mind that everything we do is not by our power, it's not in our control. Because if it was in our control, there are so many of us that life will not be the way it is for us if certain things were in our control, as we love to think. In as much as, yes, you put in the effort and you got big, or you were able to make it in your line of work or your talent, whatever it is, I want you to also understand that the other person that is doing that, yes, there are times where things like laziness and the rest plays a role, but never for once be mistaken that it's because there's something you're doing in particular that is why life tends to favor you in a particular way. Yes, it's possible that it's because you're a good person, but there are some people that are even way good than you, but life just doesn't work that way. Life is just no one really has the full understanding of life. So that is why you have to try and figure out, just understand the little that you can understand, just strive for knowledge. If you're always looking for knowledge, there will be no place for ignorance, and that you always get positive benefits from that. So please just try your best. Also, like I said in my previous videos, when I spoke about happiness, you should also understand that happiness and sadness is constant key. Just like when things start aligning in your life, you don't have any control. That's the same way that when you reach rock bottom, it's like from one bullet to another, from one heartbreak to another, you can't control it. That's just how it is. Because when things start aligning, as when you discover that you just went out to the supermarket and something happened to be in your favor, it's just so crazy how things will work out. And try to understand life from different angles, different aspects. There's so much to life that you can understand from. So like even the most insignificant thing that you think or feel is insignificant, to another person, if they try to explain life for you from that aspect, you'll be so mind blown. So please, it is really important to understand life from different angles, because like I said, we do all of that to draw lessons, inspirations, and how to navigate what's to come. I liken fruits, for example, let's say fruits to human beings. Once it's, let's say, mango season, regardless of the country that mango is growing, it will flow steady. You don't have to hit the tree, you don't have to climb the tree. It's even falling that, depending on how you use it and how you store it, it can go bad and rotten because it's too much, it's overflowing. And there's nothing anyone on planet Earth can do about it other than to eat it and just, make the best out of what they can do. But if you don't use it, it will go bad. Why? Because it just keeps coming out, it just keeps reproducing. Why? It's a season. You see it everywhere, every market you go, every single place you enter, you see it. And then suddenly when the season is beginning to go, you discover that, oh, you can't find it in every market now. Oh, maybe you can find it in just 5 markets now, before suddenly you can't find it anywhere. That is how life works for human beings as well. When it is your season, you could cough, and that cough could be that the person that said bless you, suddenly that person is the person that is supposed to, make something come true for you that you've been waiting for. Life is so crazy and humorous, the way life works, that when it's your season, things just align and you're just left dumbfounded as to how this thing that's taking so long, everything is just happening. That's the same way when it is time for the negative, it happens like that. When it's not the season, you find out that nothing you can do can make mango come out. If it's not the season, it's not the season. So just endeavor to try to understand life from different angles, different perspectives. When you hear of something or you're in a certain situation, don't be quick to run with the first idea that comes to your mind. Always try to understand, is there a different angle to this thing that I'm not seeing? Is there a different picture I'm not seeing? Is there a different interpretation to this that I'm not seeing? Is there a different perspective to this that I'm not seeing? Don't be so quick to, someone said something like, oh, the person must be saying this because this. No, just try. I know that we don't love to work for anything, but just try to understand, why did this person say this? What other perspective could there be? Don't be so quick to run with whatever it is that just comes. Always try to understand, try to understand it from different aspects. It's just, I have a friend who used to tell me that if I complain that I'm tired of using this same background, I'm tired, maybe it's just this picture, and that person will tell me that so long I have not been able to turn this picture upside down or sideways, I can't say I'm done using it, because I have not tried different perspective to it. So you also have, it's very important to understand life from different perspective, because you can't really fully understand life based on, let's say for example, this analogy I just gave. It doesn't work that way. It comes in parts. So it's really important to understand life from different angles or different perspectives. Another key point I would say is try to be emotionally intelligent. It is very, very important, and as difficult as it is very doable. Don't be quick to take decisions or take actions in the heat of the moment. Don't be so quick to react from a place of anger. And this is something I'm also working on for myself, that if it bothers you that much, just let it be. Just come back to it or deal with it when you must have calmed down and you have a clearer mind to be able to see things the way it's supposed to be. Because life is also so tricky that one decision could change your life, and one little mistake could change the trajectory of your life and your destiny for the worse. And you should not let life teach you any lesson. That's something I always tell anyone who cares to listen. Don't aspire to learn from experience. Life can be so brutal. So please, if you find anyone who is speaking to you and you feel connected to the person and you feel that person knows what they are saying, or to an extent you feel or have an idea that that person knows what they are saying, that is why you still actively have to go out to look for knowledge. Because how do you know that what this person is feeding you is actually the right thing? So learning never stops. You just have to keep the main thing. You just have to keep working on yourself and never lose sight of the bigger picture. And if you're able to work on yourself, then how to handle situation, how to react in this, how to go about, it comes easy. It comes very easy, because this is something that you've been putting into practice, and this is how you actively go about life. So it just makes things easy for you. That when you encounter some things, you'll be able to have a better understanding how to deal with it, and there's a way you'll be able to grow and learn so much that you'll be able to, it gives you an upper hand in interacting with people. That there are certain people that come with certain energies, and instead of you to flare up because you're angry, you just understand that, okay, maybe this person is thinking in a certain way, so you can't be angry, because you know that that person is solely acting based on the kind of mindset they have. So please just bottom line is never stop working on yourself. All these things I've mentioned, never stop working on yourself. Never take your eyes from the bigger picture. Always look up to people who have the same mindset as you, or you aspire to be where they are. All these different things, is very important. You can't focus on just one aspect and leave the other aspect and think everything will go good and fine. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to actively try and figure things out in all this aspect I'm talking about. That is why they say if it's easy, everyone would be doing it. If it was that easy, everyone would be at the top. So please. Another thing I would say is learn to give yourself grace, especially for things that must have happened in the past. You have to come to the understanding that if you knew better, that wouldn't have happened to you, or that situation wouldn't have played out the way it's played out. So it is really important that you give yourself grace and come to the understanding, and not just grace, like before you do anything, always have an understanding of why you're doing that thing. Don't just do something because I or someone else is saying this is how it should be done, or this is how you should do it. No, you have to understand why you're doing what you're doing. So please just understand that if you knew better in that point in time or in that situation, you would have done better, but you didn't know. So that is why the thing played out the way it played out. So please always remember to give yourself grace. Remember that your journey is not the same with anyone, and always operate within your vision. Always. It is really important, guys. It is really important that you always operate within your vision. Whatever it is you do, every step you take, every decision you make, everything, like your essence needs to be within your vision. You can't act or operate outside your vision. It doesn't work that way. That is why it is said that you should never take your eyes off the bigger picture, because if your eyes is always on the bigger picture, it is so easy for someone to be able to come up with such a sweet deal to me that anyone can see it and be like, oh, it's perfect, go for it. But it is then when you tend to always operate within your vision, for you to be able to tell that, okay, in as much as it is a sweet deal, is it something that really benefits you or your brand? Is it something that really aligns with your vision, regardless of how tempting it might be? Is it something that aligns with your vision? It is really important, guys, that you have an understanding of the things you do, the things you see, why you do certain things, why you make certain decisions. You have to have the understanding of why you do it, and not just do it because you believe that that person is an elder or that person knows better, so that person should be speaking the truth, or the person knows better. Like, don't just listen to something and just absorb it like a sponge. How do you now know that what that person is saying is the right thing, or you're feeding your mind the right information? So please, guys, I don't know how much I can say, but it is really important. Never stop working on yourself, because if you stop working on yourself and not trying to better things for yourself, guys, you experience life in a very difficult and very different dimension that is so unnecessary, because it is very preventable. If you're able to know yourself as a girl, you're able to know who, as a girl, as a guy, it doesn't matter, you'll be able to know who you can let into your life. You'll be able to know that no matter how this person is nice, smiley, and the rest, your business should not be beyond hi, how are you, laugh, joke, and it ends there. That is not because that person is sweet and the rest, or automatically that is your friend. No. Everyone has energy. It could be good, it could be bad. And in as much as we say try to know yourself, there are so many people who don't know their left from their right. So there are so many people that don't even have any idea of the kind of energy they carry. So it's not even about their personality per se. It could be just, and energy is something that is really so easy to contaminate, so easy to tamper with. So there are certain people that even carry negative and bad energy that they themselves are not even aware of, and just by association, you get to experience certain unpleasant things. And these are things that would not happen, because if you even know better, perhaps you'll be able to discern about that person, and even have the courage to be able to tell the person or enlighten the person as to how to go about things and how to do things in the right direction. So please, in as much as it is important to do it for yourself, it's also important for the continuity. You will pass this on, you pass all your mindset, how you see life to your friends, your community, your loved ones, your children, generations to generations. You will pass down your mindset, how you see life. So please strive to want to know more, because it just makes life easy for you. That you'll be able to encounter certain people, certain situations, certain things, and you'll be able to know firsthand on your first encounter that this is for me, this is not for me. So it helps. There's so much to building the life you want. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Building the life you want. You should also remember that this life belongs to you. You're the most important person in your life. And in as much as a little decision can change your life for good, it can also derail your life for bad. That is why you hear instances where people say, I wish I never met this person in my entire life. I wish I never met this, I wish I never went, I wish, so please just try to want to know better, because for you to be able to build the life you want, you have to know or understand what it is you're building before you can build anything. If you don't know what you're building, then what are you building? Another thing I will share is learn not to take advantage of people. Learn not to take advantage of people, especially people who are vulnerable, people who don't know any better, because there are so many people who don't know better, and those who know better, or those who know much more than the people, they try to take advantage of them. People love to take advantage of people's generosity, people's kindness, people's compassion, people's love. It is a very vile thing to do. Learn, try, teach yourself to not take advantage of people. Teach your children, teach those around you, teach your loved ones. Try not to take advantage of people. People are trying to help you. There are some people that you meet that genuinely they are trying to help you, and depending on how you play your cards, you just mess life for yourself, you mess things up for yourself. Please just want to know better, so you're not left with a life of regrets. You wish you have done this, you wish you knew better. Please, just so long you've made up your mind that you want to know better, I promise you that much more than better will come to you. If you make up your mind that you are actively going out there to want to know more than more will come to you. So please learn not to take advantage of people. And also learn that everyone doesn't need to know what's going on in your life. You need to have, it is very extremely important and crucial to have privacy. Everyone doesn't need to know what is going on in your life, regardless of your relationship with that person. And it doesn't make people bad people. No, that is not the point. It's just like I say that energies are very contagious, and you don't know who is carrying a bad energy. And sometimes even those carrying bad energy do not know. So it's not something that is intentional or something that it is done with a thought or something. No, it is not an intentional thing. Sometimes you find that these people don't even know. So it's very important that you protect whatever it is that you truly love. You protect it. Everyone doesn't need to know what is going on, what you just did, what you just acquired, where you are in life. No, you don't have to share too much, because you should also come to the understanding that in as much as everyone loves you, or everyone in your life loves you, everyone is also focused on their life. There's no one that is so consumed by you. There's no one that will live their life and focus on your life more than their own lives. So please, we can all strive to do better. Just keep some news to yourself, especially when it hasn't come to fruition. Keep it to yourself. Learn not to overshare. Yes, I know that a problem shared is a problem half solved, and I know that sometimes it's just you're basking in so much euphoria you want to share. It's very tempting, but it is doable. All these things I'm speaking about, it is doable. So please just try. Try to not to take advantage of people, and also try your possible best to make sure that you earn some privacy for yourself. Also, strive to be disciplined, strive to be consistent, strive to be a hard worker. I promise you guys, there is nothing good that comes easy. If you have this mindset, then when you encounter certain difficulties, maybe in whatever field it is you're doing, once you have this understanding that it's not supposed to be easy, then I feel that you will have some sort of ease, less pressure that, oh, it's not working out because it's so difficult, this. But if you have this understanding that it's supposed to be like that, at least even in those moments where you can't find any reason to continue. You can still just tell yourself that, it's like this, other people who made it, they didn't make it by, yes, of course, there are people who would have life easy, but it's not the popularity, isn't it? So please, we just need to try, be disciplined, be consistent, and in as much as you love to speak about your dreams, your visions, your plans, your ambition, all of that, you should also forget that hard work is more important than the dreams. If you're just there dreaming without any plans of putting in the work, then I'm sorry to say that you might just be deceiving yourself. So please, just strive to, in as much as you dream of owning a Ferrari, you should come to understanding that for you to own a Ferrari, you need to put in Ferrari's work. And that's the part that I feel like a lot of us miss. So please, also I would say, deal with fear. There is no human being that is void of fear and anxiety, doubt. There is no human being that is void of that. But regardless of all of that, you make it a point that you show up regardless. You show up. You don't see results. You show up. You see so much result. You show up. You see minimal result. You show up. Regardless, you show up. Do it. It's something I'm also teaching myself this period, that do it scared. You could be shaking out of your mind, so long you're not dying, so long it's not harming you. You could be shaking, vibrating, but just do it scared. Do it anyway. That's one thing that I'm actively telling myself, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what I think, what I feel the outcome will be, how I've already dissected it in my head, regardless of what I think, I am trying to come to the mindset that do it regardless, do it scared, do it however, just make sure that you're doing it. Do it crying, do it shaking, just do it. And also, an unpopular opinion I will share is, I feel this generation, we are so quick to any little thing, oh, my mental health is struggling. And this is not to speak down on mental health. I am someone who acknowledges mental health. I take it so seriously, but we have to come to the understanding that nothing good comes easy. In as much as it feels like it's driving you crazy, you want to go crazy, you should also understand that that is one of the prices it takes. All those people who made it, they didn't make it by going through life so easy, because if it was that easy, everyone, you and I would be doing it, you and I would be living it if it was that easy. And irrespective of you came from a rich background, you came from a poor background, guys, your life is totally up to you. There is so much your parents can do for you. Your parents can keep you in that big company, but if you don't prove yourself to be in that company, then how and what are your chances of staying in that company? Or do you also just want to be that person that your parent does everything for you? How do you navigate through life? Please, just, for you to be able to build the life you want, you need to be able to understand life and understand what you're building before you can build anything tangible. This is something that also has been weighing on my mind. I just felt I needed to talk about it, and I feel not a lot of people are talking about it, or perhaps I've not been able to come in contact with the people talking about it. So please, for the younger ones listening to me, or anyone at all listening to me, to build the life you want, there is so much more that is required of you, so much work that is required of you. And you also have to understand that for you to be able to build the life you want, your mindset and how you see life, these two things are what determines how and what you do with your life and how it ends. So please, we need to get to a place where we are actively working on our mindset and how we see life. We need to be able to want to understand life for ourselves, not what our parents told us, not what religion told us, not what anyone told us. What we've come to understand, that there are certain things that you don't need anyone to tell you anything, because you believe it in your core, in your being. You know that this is the truth, you know that this is right. You don't need anyone to tell you, because you know it, and you're so sure and confident that you know it. And the knowing comes from you being able to be self-aware, having the spirit of discernment, having knowledge, having discipline, so many things. So that is why it's just a steady walk. It is not a destination, it is a journey. So please, you have to consider all of this if you want to be able to build the life you want. And if this topic resonates with you, please just feel free to share any opinion or anything you might want to add to what I must have said, or maybe perhaps just anything. It could be anything. Just don't hesitate to leave it in the comment section. And I would just say in conclusion that you can build any life it is you want. If you can dream it, if you can see it, you can be it. And if you seek it, if you go after it, it will come to you. In as much as you're going after it, there's a time that that thing will actively pursue you just like you're pushing or going after it. So please, let's just all try to want to know better so that we're not just building in vain, Once the foundation is shaky, there's nothing good that can come out of that building. We have to do life on strong foundations. We have to strive to do life the right way, because at the end of the day, who is going to benefit from it? You're the one who is going to enjoy all the benefits that comes with building the life you want and doing it in the right way. The joy, the sense of the feeling of pride, everything. You're the one that is going to be the number one benefactor of that. So please let's just try to do things or understand life for our own selves. And before we go, let me share our quote for this week. What's our quote for this week? The first quote would be, it's supposed to be hard. You're supposed to have moments of doubt. You're supposed to have days where you don't feel like doing it. You're supposed to have days where you don't want to do it. You're supposed to make sacrifices. You're supposed to challenge yourself and push your limits. That's the price that has to be paid to separate yourself from the pack. Stop being average and to do anything worth doing. Stop trying to avoid it. Stop searching for a shortcut or an easier path because it doesn't exist. Feel the doubts and hear all your excuses, but show up anyway. Because the only way to beat them is to face them. All great things must be in. So learn to fall in love with the challenge, the sacrifices, and the discomfort, and use it to your advantage. And the second quote would be, you would be free when you understand that the cage where you live is made of thoughts. And I just want to say thank you for joining me on today's episode. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. Like, share, subscribe, and I hope you're able to learn one or two from this video. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.